Hello, can you hear me? Does it sound okay? Is anybody out there? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, testing, testing. Can you hear me? Hello? I think it works. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I don't see the chats. I don't show anyone else. Poma, are you on, Poma? It shows one person, but I don't know if it's me. I don't see any chats. Live, wait, maybe I have to go to live. Oh, there we go. I had to go to live chat. You can hear me. Hello, yes, hello. Sounds good. Oh, and Diana says hello too. Hi, everybody. Okay, cool. Hello. Oh, is that Nessa? Shawol 0508. Okay. Wow, I got viewers. Cool. Oh, that's how Jack sounds. That's funny. Shawol. Something like that. All right, how's everyone doing on this fine Friday? Besides me being a little sick, I think I'm doing well. So if my voice sounds a little weird, it's because I don't know, I've got maybe a cough, or I'm gonna have a cough. I don't know. Yeah, Yeah, baby double L got us sick. Dang babies. I guess we'll kind of get started here. It's my high-tech effects there, see? All right. So, welcome everyone. So, I've been wanting to stream for a while and play this new game that I've had sitting on my shelf for a long time. I bought this game, as you can see, ISS Vanguard, at an actual board game store in I don't know, Albany Park, North Center, called the Gaming Goat. Shortly after we went in there one day and I picked this game out, the place closed down, so it's not there anymore. I guess my purchase wasn't enough to keep them afloat. But anyway, I've had this game sitting around. It's like a long, complex campaign style game, and I just didn't have the energy or time to get into it. And I'm finally getting it to the table. I think I kind of got tired of Frosthaven. I played so much Gloomhaven. And then when Frosthaven finally got here, I started playing it. I'm like, maybe I've had enough of this. So I put that game away a while ago, and I've just been playing some random games here and there. But I finally got this game set up and kind of learned the rules. So it's finally time to play it, and I figured it'd be good to stream it right from the beginning so people can kind of see what this game's all about. So it's called ISS Vanguard. So there's like, let's see, let me show you the box. It comes in a big box that looks like this. See, fancy. As you can tell, it's kind of space sci-fi themed. It's a campaign style game, so it's like it's not just single sessions. It's like a bunch of sessions that tell a narrative. And what else? So it comes with. I'm not going to read the comic book, but it comes with a little mini comic book that introduces the story. So that's kind of cool. See, it comes with a comic book, and it's like set like just a little bit in the future. And without going through the whole thing, the premise is that some scientists found some information encoded in this ancient DNA, and it turns out that it's coordinates that point to coordinates to like a star map that point to some coordinates like way out in space, light years away. So scientists all over the world started this collaborative project where they built a spaceship to send a crew of astronauts and scientists and whatnot off into space towards these coordinates. So that's kind of where the game starts off. You're on this giant space station hurtling through space towards these coordinates. So the game starts out like that, and it gives you a tutorial that I'm going to play today that kind of teaches you the rules, kind of eases you into everything. So the funny thing about this game, when you first start looking at this rule book, there's a whole thing in here that says before your first game, it says basically here's several pages of setup you have to do before you can even play it. So it describes how to set up these card trays, how to arrange all the cards in here. And there's 2 of these giant card trays. And then it has you separate a bunch of stuff. There's these 4 they're all different colors, these section compartments that have different cards in them for your different types of crew members. And then the game is basically played, each round is 2 phases. There's a part where you explore crap, and then there's the ship phase where you upgrade your ship, and it comes in like a freaking binder. You have to put this binder together and put a bunch of specific cards in there to get started, and then each time you do a ship phase, you have to go through this entire binder and just read what it says and then make choices and do things. I haven't even gotten to this part yet, so I don't even know what it's all about. There's a friggin' binder. Let's see. Always the scientist, yes. You like the comic book? Yeah, the comic book's pretty cool. I think that's a nice touch to the game, and yeah, it is fancy. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so they tell you how to get this whole thing set up, and then it gives you the instructions for the tutorial. Gives you, it's kind of like Frosthaven. Like there's this log book, so like you're instructed at certain times to turn to certain sections of this log book to read like narrative pieces to like advance the story and stuff, and like kind of like give you like throughout the each mission like little story bits, like when you travel to new spots, like you have to read some narrative, kind of like Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. So it's kind of got similar thing where it's telling a story as you play. um, so what else is cool about this game? So it's 1 to 4 players, so you can play solo. If you play solo, you have to control multiple people. There's actually there's 4 different sections that have different specialties. So there's science, recon, engineering, security. They each have their own board. There's these little indentations for dice and a card that goes there, and your dice go there when you spend them and stuff. So depending on like the scenario and how many people are playing, like you might use all 4 sections, you might just use 2 sections for a mission. I'm still learning all this. I think it seems like it just introduces new rules and things as you go on. Like it doesn't give you all the rules right up front, which is kind of cool because you don't just have to sit there for like days and read all the rules and understand them. All right, so I think I'm ready to dive into the tutorial, but first, as always, the beer I'm drinking tonight. This is Revolution Infinity Hero. It's kind of a sort of like a hazy IPA, not super hazy. So it's fairly clean and crisp. Let's take a sip. That's nice. Oh, and then the most important thing I forgot. My lovely wife bought me a ring light that mounts to the table. That's why it maybe looks a little better and it's mounted nicely. So there's a ring light now, and then I have my there's like a clamp that you can put your camera in. So I have my webcam attached to this middle of this ring light. So I think it lights the table really nicely. Oh, and then the other cool thing, since the last time I streamed, you'll notice there's this mat on the table. I ordered this custom gaming mat. It's like a neoprene mat. You can choose your color from like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 colors. I chose forest green because I get everything in different shades of dark green. But you can either choose a standard size or order a custom size. So I ordered a custom size, basically cut into an oval to match the measurements of this antique table that was handed down, from my parents to my brother to me. That's been in my family since probably a little bit before I was even born. So I've been eating dinner at this table most of my life growing up, and now I have this neoprene gaming mat custom cut to fit this table. If I zoomed out, you'd see it's like an oval that it cuts in like a little bit, but it's like perfectly shaped to match the contour of this table. Yeah, that is real fancy now. I'm totally pro now. I don't think you're gonna see a higher quality stream out there. All right. Excuse me if I'm a little sniffly. I'll try not to sniffle too much into the microphone. All right, so I think we're gonna get started. I think let's just get this show on the road because I'd like to try to get through this whole introductory scenario. I don't know how long it takes. Basically, I've done a lot of the setup already for the scenario, so I'm a little off camera, but I've got the instruction book here. I'll read the narrative bits for you so that you guys can get into the story. So let's see, I've done all that. So basically, the setup, you got to gather the components, which I've done. Everything's here. Choose your sections. I did. For this tutorial, they say you have to play with this guy, Amir Zainab, who's the science guy, and then you can choose another section. So I chose recon because it'll make sense when I read part of the story. But there's a little like backstory on the backs of these cards. This guy says, there's talk that Amir is really a convicted criminal who took his twin brother's place in the ISS Vanguard mission. That's kind of scary. This guy's not, what is he, not really a scientist? It's like that movie, was it called Gattaca with was it Ethan Hawke? And he wants to be an astronaut, but he doesn't have the physical traits, but his brother was like genetically engineered, so he assumes his brother's identity so that he can be an astronaut. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's seen that. That's the same table where we made Elias crack up playing Disney code names. Yeah, because Diana said the A word, ASS word, in front of Allie and Elias, and they just busted out laughing. All right, so back to the game. So now it instructs me after setting up all this crap to go to log 1. So I take the log book, and it says, all right. Oh, crap, so I didn't read the starting log. Okay, starting log. Good morning, crew. If you're hearing this, it means you belong to a small group of essential personnel waking up in the first wave. Let me bring you up to speed. For the last 2 years, Vanguard has been cruising safely to our destination, following alien coordinates to the main objective of our mission. 5 days ago, we switched off the Alcubierre drive and dropped to sublight speed. You might feel a bit heavy on the main deck. Gravitational compensators keep deceleration down to a slightly uncomfortable 2G. The red zones on the ship are locked and off limits, unless you want to experience what 90G feels like. We're now approaching our target. So far, sensors aren't picking up anything, but don't let that get you down. We're still a ways off, and main alert, collision course alert, action required. Captain Wayman. Report, what's going on? Chief Navigator Niels. Sir, we're detecting a massive cloaked object directly in our path. The calculations show we're 3 weeks from impact. Captain Wayman. Begin evasive maneuvers. Chief Navigator Niels. Sir, this object is several times larger than our solar system, a diameter of nearly 200 astronomical units. Considering our current speed, I'm not sure we'll be able to adjust the course in time. Captain Wayman. How could we miss something this big? Chief Navigator Niels. The object employs some active cloaking technology and does not seem to have any gravitational interactions with nearby systems. Captain Wayman. Sergeant Ney, are the section leaders awake? Sergeant Ney. Yes, sir. Captain Wayman. Get them up here and lock down the bridge. Not a word of this to anyone. We don't want it to cause a panic on board. All right, it says if you're playing the tutorial, follow the setup instructions, blah, 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 did that. And then it says to read log 1. All right, everyone following along? Nobody panic. We're just about to collide in 3 weeks with a giant invisible thing. All right, sip of beer. All right, log 1. You've read the briefing, so I'll keep this short. ISS Vanguard is now barreling at 300,000 kilometers per hour toward an alien-made sphere larger than our solar system. Our engineers are trying everything to decelerate and alter our collision course, but that might not be possible without endangering the crew's health and the ship's integrity. You are our plan B. We're sending you forward to scout the object and determine its composition and structure. We need to know how close we can get without endangering Vanguard. We've equipped your lander with additional fuel and extra supplies. If Vanguard flies past the sphere, it might take months for us to reconnect. This means you won't have the cargo space for any additional equipment. Due to your rapid awakening, you also feel not at your best. We hope the effects of the torpor chamber fade before you reach your objective. Godspeed. All right, then it says, if you're playing the tutorial, continue reading the prepare the away team instructions and blah, 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 blah. So let's see, I think I did that. So prepare the away team, that's what this part was. I explained each guy has these specific dice they tell you to select. They don't explain why each person has these specific dice. They just say match the book. And then it says, to put these cards in, you have to put them in these rank sleeves. So this card's actually in a sleeve that they provide you. And these sleeves are like different depending on their rank. And then you put it in the little dashboard thing there. And then they give you some cards, kind of like, in your hand that you can choose from, kind of like a little like Gloomhaven. Each guy's got cards, and there's some tokens here. And then that says to go to log 5. Okay, so I'm back in the logbook. Jeez, I'm all over the freaking place. Engine noise. All right. Capcom, this is the away team. We're approaching the target. Our short-range scans detect an outer shell of unknown carbon allotrope that seems to absorb all emissions. We have no way of knowing what's inside. We're already crunching your data, away team. I'll let you know if we find anything. No wonder we couldn't detect this thing. It was literally built to be invisible. Should we attempt a landing? No, we're not sure how resilient the structure is. Make a closer flyby and deploy a sample gathering drone. Roger, Vanguard, we're scanning sound. Wait, I'm detecting something on the surface of the sphere. A metallic object embedded in its shell. Look here, the surface around it is cracked, almost as if it has almost as if it crashed into it. It's turning towards us? Loud bang. Lander alert. We're hit. It's shooting at us. It's some sort of automated sentry anchored on the sphere. Abort. Do you copy? Away team, abort mission now. You've crashed on the surface of an alien object. If you're playing the tutorial, continue reading the prepare blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. All right, so it says prepare section cards, did that. Prepare the planet board. So the game, kind of like that mini Gloomhaven game, Jaws of the Lion, you play within this spiral-bound book. And we've got little minis that go on there. It explains how you add them. There's stuff printed on, and then there's also cards that you have to lay on here. It explains all those. And then, all right, so then now we get to actual play now, and it kind of guides you through. It tells you what to do for the first couple turns and actions, so that you get a feel for it. But first, I have to read more. Jeez, what's with that? I keep picking all these games where I have to freaking read a novel. All right, anything, comments, any questions? Escape pod, everyone for themselves. I know, I'll head back. Let's go back to Earth. So much story. Yes, there is so much story. Sometimes I just want to play a game, not read a friggin' book. Just kidding. It's kind of exciting. So at least it's an interesting story so far. I like these kind of cool sci-fi things. All right, what am I reading? Log 20. All right, log 20. Away team exploration report 27C. We survived the crash, but we are not out of the woods yet. The lander broke into 2 parts upon impact, and some of us were trapped inside its mangled tail section. Continue reading the Amir's first action instructions on page 15 of the rule book. So I got the rule book here, and it's going to tell me what to do. So it says, for his first action, so it's explaining that each planetary exploration phase is divided into rounds. Basically, each player takes turns. On their turn, they can do 2 actions, and then generally then they have to draw an event card and resolve the event card. So I'm guessing the event cards are going to be like bad things that happen. Sorry about the wobbly table. To your Goodreads. I know, really. I should. All right. So there's like a list of actions you can do, and then it explains. So I mean, it's kind of, I'm sure you can't read this, but these are basically like rooms, these sectors, and they have stuff printed on them. This one says, twisted wreckage. The only way out of the tail part of the lander is blocked by a heavy buckled bulkhead. And then there's these special action things that it explains on there. So here you can see in the rule book, that part there kind of in the middle of that right page explains what those special actions are. So it's saying, let's see, he wants to you can do a travel action, but this icon here says that you can't travel yet. So it also has this special action thing, and that's one of the actions you can take on your turn, is you can do 1 special action if you want. So it says instead he decides to perform the special action, also printed on the point of interest. It involves a dice check. So I get the feeling that a lot of the game is these what they call dice checks. It's like this whole process you have to carry out, and you choose and roll dice, and then depending on the dice you roll and your cards, you can do a bunch of crap. It says dice checks are one of the main mechanisms of ISS Vanguard and are fully explained later. To resolve this dice check, follow the scripted instructions below, which will go through the process step by step. Don't worry, you will be making your own choices soon. All right, so it says the whole process is summarized on this reference card. So step one, choose dice. So it says, normally you choose a number of dice from your hand that you want to roll. I think you kind of, based on like what you're trying to do, you can kind of estimate how many dice you want to use. It's kind of like, it's partially part of the mechanics of the game is resource management. So, you go through your dice. You don't want to you can't just use them over and over again. So you have to kind of be careful how you use them. All right, so this one's telling me, let's see. So I have to try to match some icons on here, but none of my dice have those icons. But each die has like a wild card, this Vanguard icon. So if you roll that, it can be used as any of the icons. So they're telling me that I'm going to use 2 dice. That tells me take a red and a blue. And normally what you would do is then once they're in your hand, you roll them. But this one is saying, just for the sake of like the tutorial, to just turn them to specific. I chose the wrong die, I think. Yeah, so these ones. So it says basically just pretend you rolled that. That's what it says in the book. So let's say, oh, I rolled that. The book. Let's see. It's like picturing the cast of Star Trek movies with the story. Yeah. All the voices are extra in my head. Yeah, you got to try to change up the voices. Maybe as this like play through this game, maybe I'll develop like the same voices that I use for each character. But probably not. All right, so back to the game. All right. So the next step. So I rolled the dice. There's things where like if this guy was in the sector with me, he could assist, but he's not. So then the next step, it says to skip this for now and explain it later. So it says, no. So yeah, so at this point you would normally roll the dice. And then it says blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. Set them to this and this. Okay. And then it explains what the icons mean, blah, blah, blah. And then the next step, it says modify the results. So basically I need to get like a muscle icon, a shield icon, or whatever this other icon is, but I don't have any of those. And I didn't roll a wild icon, so I can't change the results of one of the die. But step 4 of the dice check says modify the results. You can play, I was supposed to draw cards into my hand for each player, so I'm doing that now. You can have at most 2 cards in your hand. So now I could use my cards in hand to modify the results if I wanted to. So this thing's telling me to play the trial and error card, which is this one. And basically there's instructions that say during a dice check, that's when I can use this. I can move, is this the one? Move 1 die from the roll pool to their owner's spent pool to turn 1 other die to the chosen result. So this is basically saying I can spend 1 of the dice to change the result of 1 of the other dice. So that's exactly what I need here, because I can take a die and then change it to something else. So it tells me to move the red die to my spent pool. So what's going to happen, anytime you choose dice, then you roll them. To spend them, you put them in your spent pool, which means they can't be used until you refresh them. And then because I move that and I use this card, I can change the result. So I'm going to change it to this wild card Vanguard icon, which means that I can pretend it's like, say, the muscle arm icon that I need there. Cheating already. I'm not cheating. It's telling me to cheat. It's not Gloomhaven where when no one's watching, I'll maybe change the results of a attack modifier. I never do that. All right, so I use this card for my hand to modify the results. And then next is check for dice combinations. It says to skip that, but like certain cards have these dice combinations on the bottom where if you roll one of those combinations, then you can take these special actions. Not doing that now. Resolve injury and danger dice. That doesn't apply here, so it says to skip it. Resolve special effects says to skip it. It doesn't apply right now. And then the next step is mark outcomes. So you have these little purple marker things, these little cubes. And these are just used to like mark certain things on the board and on cards. So this says, basically you have to look through and then figure out what result you got. And then you put a little marker on there. And then, so that's just telling me that this is the result that the result that I'll resolve at the end of this whole thing, the one that I put this marker on. And it's the good one. Spend remaining dice. In this step, you would move all the remaining dice to your spent pool. Oh, I forgot I had to move this to my spend pool because I spent it to get this result. So I gotta remember all these little nuances of what you do with the dice and crap, but that'll come with, you know, practice playing it and whatnot. All right, now what? Spend the remaining dice. There aren't any more remaining, and then resolve outcomes. So during this step, you take the marker and then you apply the effect of what thing it was on. So this one says I gain 1 success token. It's these little tokens, and it says to place it above the indicated space here. This says success tokens. See, I put a token there. If I get enough success tokens, I earn this rank up card. So those are kind of like, if anyone remembers from Gloomhaven, there were those what do they call them? Like scenario goal cards where each character had their own little like secret goal, like that they didn't have to achieve, but if they did, they got special benefits. So that's kind of what that is. So I got 1 success token towards that. And then the second effect is to replace the current point of interest, which is this printed on space here, with point of interest 101, which is a card. So you take it from this pile, P101, and place it face up in Sector 1 over the top of Twisted Wreckage. Congratulations, you freed yourself from the wreckage. Thank you. It feels good. So it's kind of cool. Like you modify this board here with these cards. So now I'm in like, you know, the room has changed that I'm in. So this says outer surface. We can't reach the other part of our lander via the surface, but we could descend into the honeycomb structure of the sphere. So now there's like other special actions on this card I could take. But I can't do that now because in the rules it says you can, out of your 2 actions, only one of them can be a special action per turn. All right, so it explains some other crap that doesn't apply here. There's this actions token that says, it's hard to read, but it says 2 actions left. So now I've flipped this over. Now I've got 1 action left. That's just kind of like a little reminder token. All right, so Amir's second action. Okay, so Amir now finds himself on the outer surface. This point of interest has another special action, blah, blah, blah. However, you can only perform 1 per turn, so you can't do that. So unlike the previous card, it had that icon saying he couldn't travel. This one doesn't have that icon, which means he can travel. So it allows me to move him from one sector to another along a connecting path. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's these paths that connect like the different sectors, and some have arrows, you know, saying which way you can go and whatnot. All right. So there's certain icons on them that mean certain things. Sometimes you have to spend a die. Sometimes you have to roll these danger dice. Sometimes you have to resolve these global conditions. So this one, because it has this little astronaut icon, means we have to resolve this global condition. So it instructs you that you have to resolve a travel icon. You must spend one die, move it from your available dice to your spent pool, or roll a danger die and look up the result. So for the purpose of this tutorial, let's say that Amir decides to take the risk of rolling a danger die instead of spending a die. Roll one danger die and compare the result to the T entry on the danger die reference card. So these are the danger dice. So this says right here that these are called global conditions. It says either spend a die, so I would have to like waste one of my dice and put it in this spent pool, or I can roll a danger die, and that basically means there's a risk of like something bad happening to me. So it says here to do that. So I'm going to roll it, and it's blank. So I assume that's good. There's a reference card here. It says to use the T section. And yeah, blank means nothing. If I had this like two-pointed thing, then I'd gain just a scratch injury. Or if it was the three-pointed thing, I would have to spend a die. So it's blank, so I got lucky. I didn't even have to cheat. It was a legitimate roll. You guys all saw it. It's so different. The dice are resources. I would suck at that. Yeah, there's like that's more common now. Like a lot of these more like modern games, they don't have a lot of like just straight up luck dice rolling. A lot of like it's like using dice in different ways where they like are resources and they turn into different things and they mean different things. So this game's kind of a combination of that. Just kidding, no danger. Yeah. Luckily no danger, Will Robinson. All right, so let's see. All right, so regardless of the result, which was nothing, move Amir to Sector 5. And it says, since there's a log number listed in the sector, resolve it right now. So I go bloop, 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 move him to Sector 5. This says go to log 227. So you guessed it, more reading. Hold on, I need to sip some water before I read. Jeez, I picked a great night to have to talk a bunch. Captain's log 227. This is Captain Kirk. All right. Where are we? 227. All right. Do you read me? I am now under the surface of the sphere. It seems that the cloaking panels rest on a delicate carbon mesh, sparse enough to squeeze through. Good. We can use this to navigate under chasms and cracks. I wonder how deep it goes. Stay focused on your mission. We need to regroup first. Roger that. All right. Place point of interest card P109 face up in Sector 5. What did it say? P109. So now I have to go back to here, choose P109, and put it in Sector 5. So this is carbon mesh. It says there's no obvious way forward, only a labyrinth of tiny passages. So this has another another special action I can take basically to squeeze through the carbon mesh. Okay. So then it says, if you're playing this tutorial, read the tutorial frame below, otherwise continue with the game. As you can see, this sector appears to be a dead end. The only other path connects this sector with Sector 6, but unfortunately the directional arrow indicates that you can only travel from Sector 6 to 5, not from 5 to 6. Amir's turn is now over, but before continuing, take a moment to look at two interesting features of the card you just revealed. The special action has the danger die icon next to its name. This means that when you perform this special action, you must roll a danger die along with your other dice and resolve its result before you resolve the rest of your roll. The special effect instructs you to resolve the red outcome if you roll at least one accident. This one is an immediate special effect and will be explained in the rule book. Continue reading. End of Amir's turn. Blah, blah, blah. Jeez. All right. All right. So now, end of Amir's turn. So his turn is now over. So he's got this. You got this turn token that says turn available. When your turn's over, you flip it over and it says draw an event, but it says not to do that right now. And then you're done for this turn. All right. So let's see. I like the color palette of this game. Same, the binders and guides look good too. Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I think that's one of the things that drew me to the game. Like you're talking about the binder earlier. Like, yeah, that's nice. And then like the section card things. These like pastel colors, which is kind of funny. It's like these are it's kind of funny. These are good Easter colors for those section compartments. All right. Second crew member's turn. Okay. Geez, go to log 50. I gotta friggin' read more. All right. All right. Away team exploration report 1B. When I woke, the cockpit was dark and filled with smoke. A strange glow seeped in through the cracks of the fuselage. Whatever this turret brought us down with, it was still eating through the hole, melting steel like butter. I thought about the oxygen tanks and supplies in the cargo bay below the cockpit. If we were to survive until the rescue, they needed to be saved. All right, continue reading the other book. All right, we need another sip of beer. Ooh, that's nice. All right. All right, so now the second crew member is here in this other sector. And there's also this no travel icon. It says here the lander's front is half buried in the delicate carbon surface. The plasma from the salvo still melts through the hole, so I gotta save the supplies before they get melted by plasma. All right, so it says the second crew member should choose the Save the Supplies special action visible in Sector 2. So again, this one has these a special action, but this one's going to be a little different. It also requires a dice check, but it's resolved in a different way. Basically, it's got these tracks that you have to advance. They have to, based on your results, you progress the 2 different tracks. So this says, so you do the same 10 steps of the dice check, but it's going to be slightly different. So this says, choose dice. It says to maximize your chances of making as much progress as possible, take all 5 dice from your crew board and place them in your hand, like so. Any other crew member present chooses not to assist you. There is no other crew member. All right. Add injury and danger dice. Skip this. Doesn't apply. Roll dice. So this one, they're going to have me actually roll the dice. But it says if you roll 3 or more accidents, re-roll all of your dice until you roll fewer than 3. This is only specific for this roll and only during this tutorial. It's not like an actual rule. So let's take these dice and blah, blah, blah. All right, I got 2 accidents. And what else? What are the other? So accidents advance the 1 track, and then any other color advances the other track. So if you rolled no more than 1 accident, all is good. Skip to step 5, otherwise read on. If you roll 2 accidents, I'm in trouble. Why? Because basically I don't have enough to meet the outcome in 1 turn. I'd have to like waste another turn. So I can modify my results. So I can play a section card from my hand, kind of like the other guy did before. So I could do athletics, which allows me to turn 1 die to the chosen result during a dice check. And I think I'm going to do that. So All right, so yeah, I'm going to play this card. So I put it in my discard, and I can turn any of these dice to the chosen result. So I'm basically just going to turn one of these accident dice to a non-accident result. So that's to modify the results. Check for dice combinations, skip this. Resolve injury and danger dice, skip this, doesn't apply. Resolve special effects. So this action has 2 special effects. They must be resolved from left to right. So first, for each accident, I have to progress the red track. That's this one at the bottom. So I use these purple marker cubes to put one on that track. So I have 1 accident. And I think I move that to the spent. Yep, that's exactly what I do. And then for each remaining die in your pool, progress the green track and then place that die in the spent pool. So basically there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put all those in the spent and place a marker 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get to the green result, which is good. All right, mark outcomes. This step is skipped for dice checks with tracks. Good. Artemis 1218, you caught my friend's reference. Let's see. Spend dice. Move all dice from the roll pool to the spent pool. That's already happened. And then resolve outcomes. So check each track from top to bottom. If the marker is in an outcome space, remove it and apply the effect of that outcome. So if you're applying the green outcome, so this, I remove this marker and then it says gain 1 success token. So put that guy there. And then replace with card P102. So point of interest 102. So we're doing one of these guys again. We get rid of this thing because it doesn't apply anymore. So recovered supplies, it says we won't have to worry about food or oxygen for a long while. All right. All right, so where are we at? So, all right, so that's the last step of that action. So now it says your crew member is now out of dice, and as you have seen, dice are required to perform most of the special actions. One way to refresh your dice is the rest action. So that is what you should do now. All right, before I do that, I'm going to blow my nose. I'm going to go to the other side of the room to make it as less audible as possible. Woo-wee! Oh, man. All right. All right, so the next action I'm going to take, because you can do 2 actions. So first of all, I need this actions left token. So it's 2. Now it goes down to 1 action left. That's if you have really tough time keeping track of things, so you can't remember that you already did an action. You use this token, but then you have to remember to switch it over, to the next player. So I already forgot to do that. So I don't know how much I'll actually use this token. I think my brain works well enough to remember that I have 2 actions total. All right, so the first rest action, I'm not going to read all this. Basically, normally, I think you have on here, you have supplies, like limited number, and as you rest, you use up those supplies. But this says for this scenario, for this tutorial scenario, you have unlimited supplies. So there's letting you cheat all over the place here. So then the next thing is then you get back half of your dice rounded up. So that would be 3. So half of 5 is, last time I checked, 2.5 rounded up is 3. So I get back 3 dice. So I have to choose which 3 dice. I think what I'll probably do is maybe one of, because I might need, let's look at the special action that's on there. What kind of, I just need basic, dice for these. So I'm gonna. It looks like there's I need a green and a blue maybe for. So I'm gonna take 2 green and a blue. Because I think I'll need those on that next action. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's the ticket. All right, I'll leave those in my spent pool. And then you also get to take back, or you get to draw another section card to refresh my hand. You can only have at most 2 cards in your hand. I have 2 right now, so we're good. I've got this. I've played enough games. Yeah, I think I'm pretty seasoned veteran. So let's see. That was the rest action. So now it explains like remaining crew members. If I was playing with like more people and we had all 3 or 4 crew members, then they would take turns, and then it goes on to continuing the tutorial, which I'll do in a moment. I'm just gonna take a quick mental break, have a few sips of beer before I continue with the next turn, because I think basically after this I'm kind of on my own. I have to like figure out the rest of this scenario. It just kind of scripts you through the first turn and then just kind of explains the rules that you'll need for the rest of it. There's like, I don't know, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4.5 pages of rules that might apply while you're playing the rest of this. Oh. So I'll continue with that in a moment. But yeah, so let's see. What other games have I played recently? So I had another game that I had been wanting to get to the table for probably over a year that looked really interesting, and I heard really good reviews. It was another like campaign-based game called Sleeping Gods, where you're a captain of a ship and you have a crew, and the story is you basically like go through this storm and all of a sudden you awake in this like alternate reality, like in this weird land with all these islands and stuff, and you have your ship, and it's kind of like open world. You just kind of travel around and like go to different sites, and different things happen at different sites, and you battle different creatures and do certain like actions and stuff, and depending on that you like pick up new missions and you have to go around trying to complete these missions. So like it's very highly replayable because you can you don't have to complete all the missions. You choose which missions you want to play, and you just kind of have to search around. And in the course of one game, and there's like a time limit, so you can't do everything. So you kind of just try to do as much as possible, and then based on like how many totems you collect, you get different results. So there's like maybe like 9 different endings. So highly replayable. It's a highly enjoyable game. A lot of reading, unfortunately, but it was kind of interesting, cool story and like little universe they have. And then I played it one playthrough of that campaign, and as I was finishing that up, I learned that they made a sequel to it that people are saying is like more streamlined and better. So of course I had to buy that. So now that's sitting on the shelf waiting to be played, sometime after I go through this game. What else did I play? Secret Santa Carmen got delivered on Christmas 2 games to me. One of them was called Lost Ruins of Arnak. That's like kind of like an Indiana Jones type, like maybe not so much like that, but it's like you're basically like people researching and exploring like this lost island, and it's all about like deck building and kind of worker placement kind of stuff. That was a pretty cool game. And then also I got Dune Imperium, which is based off the Dune universe, and the artwork is all like based off of the new Dune movies. And that game is really cool. That's another like deck building kind of worker placement kind of game. And that one's actually really cool. Played through that once. It's not like campaign based. It's just kind of single, just play through each time. That game was really cool. And then once I finished that, that's when I started setting this game up. Have Artemis record all the readings and then just play the recordings based on your results. Oh my god. That's fun. It's funny because they actually have, I think, an app that you can use to play along with. But that would be much funnier if my wife recorded all the audio and I had to play those recordings as I played the game. All right. So let's see. How long have I been going? About an hour. I think I'll go a little bit longer. Maybe go through another turn just to kind of get a feel and see if I kind of learn the rules. All right. So round completed. One full round is now completed. Go to log 59. Of course. Read more. Who do you think I am? Dostoevsky? 59. All right. All crew members now have their turn token on the turn ended side. Oh, I forgot to flip that. This ends the first round. From now on, you have full control over your choice of actions. Before continuing the game, browse through the sections under Continuing the Tutorial in the rulebook. There's no need to read all of these sections in full right now. Only read them the first time you need them. Continue reading the Continue the Tutorial instructions on page 20 of the rulebook. All right. All right. So basically, it says I'm on my own. Number of additional rules, depending on what happens. I may have read some of these sections. Don't do this until this happens. We got the reference cards, the turn order. So at the start of each round, the crew member with the start token chooses. So there's a start token that is who goes first. You can choose who to pass it to, or you can even pass it yourself. So just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to keep it on Amir. Each member has a convert ability depicted on the top left corner of their crew member card. And blah, blah, blah. I can treat something as something else. Travel effects, immediate special effects, blah, blah, blah. Cards with 2 actions. Some cards have more than 1 special action. I must choose before. I can't do both or choose in the middle. There's bonus outcomes. Okay, multiple cards, rank up cards. Okay, injuries, prepare action dice combinations. Okay, so time tracks. Okay, so I think I'm clear. I won't have to read this crap until I get to a specific thing. All right, so now I'm just kind of on my own. I got to figure out what to do now. So now it's Amir's turn again, the scientist guy who might actually be a criminal, posing as his brother. So I could go back and get these surface samples, and that will give me this unique discovery. So I'm kind of thinking, before I do all this crap, before I do all this crap, I need to, before I squeeze through here and move on, I kind of want to go back here and get these surface samples because that gives me this unique discovery. And since I have unlimited supplies, I might as well do that. So this means I have to travel again. So that means I either spend a die or roll a danger die. So I don't want to use up a die, but I also need a red die. So how am I going to get that back? I forgot to draw this section. Wait, no, I can't draw that section card yet. I might need to rest. So basically I'm rambling to myself about how I want to go back here, but I need a red die, a green die, and a blue die, but my red die is spent, so I'd have to waste some time resting and traveling, but I think that's just exactly what I'm going to have to do. So I think what I'll do is travel. That's 1 action. So I have 1 action left, and then I have to spend a die, so I'll do that, and then I'll rest. So that means I get 3 dice left. So it's not, so it's half of your total dice, not the dice that are in here. I'm not cheating. That's in the rule book. I read it a couple times. Look it up online if you don't believe me. All right, so I get all 3 dice back, so that's good. So put this guy here, this guy here, and then this guy here. So that means his turn is over. Flip that over. Oh, I'm supposed to flip. I gotta remember to flip the tokens properly. So now this guy gets the token. So this guy, on his card, he's got 2 actions he can do. He could move, but first I want to use the aid station. What does this get me? Discard an injury. Oh, I don't really need to do anything because these are like, I think I can come back here if I need to like rest up, because like one of these actions allows me to discard an injury card and an injury die if I had them, or I can rest and recover, which refreshes 4 dice, and I draw 2 section cards. But I don't need to do that because he doesn't have any injury dice or injury cards. So I'm going to move. So this tells me I have to spend a die. So I will spend a green one and move here. And guess what? I have to read log 311. 311, like that band. They were really good. Away team exploration report 1C. The darkness and silence of an eons-old structure enveloped me. The carbon mesh formed small tunnels, their network sprawling under the pitch-black surface of the sphere. I set up a radio beacon to notify the other survivors of my location and sat there in the dim light of the flashlight, trying not to think too much about who these corridors were made for. This guy's name is Joppe Ulrich, so he's probably like German or something along those lines. So he should probably have an accent, not this California accent I was using. All right, I set up a radio beacon to notify the other survivors of my location and sat there in the dim light of the flashlight, trying not to think too much about these corridors were made for. I think that's more Polish than German. All right. To continue the mission, all away team crew members need to meet in this sector. So that's sector 4. Are all crew members in sector 4? Yes. Go to log 320. No, they're not. No. Keep taking turns until all crew members are here. Remember, as long as the 311 text is revealed in this sector, you must read this log entry each time a crew member enters the location. All right, so basically, anytime anyone enters this sector, I read that thing, and if everyone's there, then I go to a different log, and I think that's like the end of this scenario or mission. So that was the first action, right? So I mean, I don't want this guy to just sit here and do nothing, so I think he's going to move again up to here. This icon says I need to roll a danger die. Danger Will Rogers. All right, so I will roll that, and hopefully it's nothing bad. It's the 1 pointy guy. Let's see. 1 pointy guy is not on this reference card, so that means nothing happened. So all good. So he moves in here. Wait. No, no, he doesn't want to move there. Forget I rolled that because there's nothing there. I'm sure at some point something happens that reveals something there. But there's nothing there now, so there's no point for me to go there. So I'm going to move here, which means I can roll a danger die or spend a die. Let's just pretend that roll was... This isn't exactly cheating, it's just changing my mind. Let's pretend that danger die is the one I rolled to get to here, and nothing happens bad, okay? Everyone just pretend they didn't see that. All right, go to log 130. All right, more reading. Great. All right. If your current mission card is M03, go to log 133. Otherwise, go to log 132. My current mission card is M01, so I go to log 132. You're getting too far from your objective. You cannot progress deeper into the sphere until you complete your mission. Move your crew member back to Sector 4, then continue your turn. Okay, so this guy just has to friggin' sit here? Move your crew member back to Sector 4, then continue your turn. So he's just gonna have to sit there for like what's he gonna do? There's nothing he can do. All right. All right, so well, that's crappy. So that was my second action, so that's the end of his turn. Okay. Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Coming in Star Command. Yeah. I wish Buzz Lightyear was here. Okay, so now he's back in here. Do I just sit there until this Chamoke gets there? I already wasted a turn to go back and get the surface sample. Oh well. All right, so it's his turn again, or it's no new round. He's got one card. He's got. Oh, he rested, so I forgot to draw a card, so I have a new card. Discard an event card you just drew without resolving its tech. Okay, cool. All right, so now it's his turn again. 2 actions left. I'm going to take this action here of take the surface samples. Let's see if there's special rules around this. It says some crap, I think. There's something somewhere. Bonus outcomes. Some dice checks have a yellow bonus outcome in addition to the green one. Usually gives you something cool. Special action. The bonus outcome gives you a success token, then you apply the effect of the green outcome. Blah, blah, blah. You'll get the yellow outcome and then the green. For this particular action, you can choose to roll only 1 die. If you are lucky and roll a blah, 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 you will get the yellow outcome and then the green one. But if you do not roll any of these results, 1 die is not enough to get the green outcome. Oh, I see. So I don't have to roll 3 dice. I could possibly get lucky. So if I roll a science die, maybe I'll try it with 2 and see what happens. Because this is saying if I get just one of these top results, I get the bonus, and there's an arrow saying I get the green. So if I get one of these science icons, how many are on this die? 3. So I've got a 1, 2, 3. I've got a 50-50 shot, actually greater than 50-50 because of this Vanguard icon. So let me try this. I'm just going to roll 1 die. Ah, oh, son of a bitch. All right. Let's see. Do I have a card I can do? During a dice check, reroll 1 die. Whew. I'm going to spend that guy. Ooh, and I get my science die. Thank God I remembered that. So let me go through. I got to go through this reference card to make sure I don't skip anything. Choose dice. I did. Skip that. Roll the dice. Modify the results. Check for dice combinations. Resolve. Blah, blah, blah. Mark outcomes. So I have to spend that. and then mark the outcome. Yeah, I was feeling lucky, punk. And I was sort of on the second try. Okay, so bonus outcome, I get a success token. Oh, and then I get to resolve this too because I got the third one. So to increase the ranks, and this is push, you only need 3 success tokens. Once you do, flip this card to the completed side. So I already completed my rank up card, so I flip that over. And then this says to move this down, and then I gain unique discovery 1, replace with card P000. So I gain this, right? What does this mean? Exotic carbon allotrope. Ship management. When unloaded, place research project R01 alien materials in the awaiting envelope. Does it explain what I do with this thing? Geez, there's so much. What do I do with the unique discovery? Sounds like that comes into play with the ship part. Read this section only when instructed to gain unique discovery 1. Unique discoveries are found on certain planets. When you start to flip the card over. Normally stored on your lander, but for the tutorial, place it above the planet board in the indicated space. All right, so found discoveries. I put it up there. All right. And then, so that's one action. So now I can move again. So I think I'm going to move again, and I'm going to roll a danger die because I don't have any injuries yet, so I'm feeling pretty good. And I got a 4-pointed thing, and that's nothing. No injury yet. Okay, so now I'm back in here, and that means turnover. And now it's this guy's turn, but what's he going to, and he can't do anything. What are the things that you can do on your turn? You can travel, rest. I guess I could rest. He'll rest again. That'll be 1 action. So I get these 3 dice back. I like when they have these slots so they like hold the dice. All right. All right. And then he's got 1 action left. What can prepare? Draw 1 section card. Oh, and I could. Okay, so I'm resting, so I should be able to draw a card. But since there's none left, I can take my discard. But let's see. That means I can only have 2, so I have to discard 1. So I think I'm going to discard Born Lucky and keep the ones that help my dice checks. But he's still got 1 action. I already rested. I could move back here, but like I don't need any of that junk. So I guess I just stay there. And that's the end of that guy's turn. All right, so I think I'm going to do, let's see, how long am I going? I'm going to do 1 more quick turn because I'm going to get this guy out of the, squeeze him through the mesh into here. All right, hold on. Yeah, dice check helps is a good call. I think so, at least initially, because, like, you know, I don't have any injuries yet, so I don't have to worry about that crap. All right. Turn ended, so flip everyone's turn things back over. Okay, so it's Amir's turn again. So he's got a special action on this card that says squeeze through. So it looks like I need to, I have to, there's a danger die icon, so I think I have to roll that with, hold on. There's instructions for that. Which one is it? The mesh, squeeze through the mesh, blah, blah, blah. Danger and dice check. So some are dangerous to perform. During a dice check, a danger die must be rolled at the same time as your other dice. During step 5, resolve the danger die as you normally would, and then place it back in the supply. All right. So for this dice check, so first, what do I have to do? I have to choose dice. So I need to get a computer, or which I don't have, or this other, I don't know, recon icon, whatever that icon is. So I'm definitely going to roll a green one because that has that. And then I'll roll a red one and hope to get maybe a Vanguard icon. And then just to be safe, I think I'm going to roll one more just to hopefully maybe get a Vanguard icon. And then I have to roll a danger die because it says on that icon. And then for each accident, I have to, if I roll any accident dice, I have to go to this log and read something. Something bad's probably going to happen to me. So roll these dice. All right, good news and bad news. So I got a this 2 pointy thing says I gain so I gain an injury. So I got to put one of these on under here. It says if you have just a scratch injury, you cannot gain another injury. So I think if I roll a certain, they explain that later. I'll figure that out when I need it. All right, just a scratch. So I place this injury card there. Immediate effect, if I roll an accident icon, I think I have to put it in my spent and then read log 112. So let's read some more. Okay, snooze fest. All right. I'm entering the subsurface. It seems the external shell of the sphere rests on a mesh of something that looks like carbon filaments, just about large enough to squeeze through. I think I can use them to reach the other parts of the sector. Be careful, there's no telling how this structure. Damn! Away, Team 1, I see your heart rate spiking. What's going on? I seem to be stuck. There's no one who could assist you at this time. Can you free yourself? I'll try, Vanguard. Away, Team out. You failed. However, in ISS Vanguard, this isn't always a bad thing. Some negative outcomes may open new possibilities and storylines that are only available after a failure. So choose one. Jeez, that sucks. Slowly work your way down. I can spend 3 dice and place your crew member and any assisting crew members in Sector 4. Call for help. If there's another crew member in this sector, no. Use tools to cut yourself. Roll a danger dice. After applying the results of this roll, place your crew member in Sector 4. Okay. So I succeeded, but I failed. Okay. So I guess I ignore the part about succeeding. So this says one of my options is I can roll a danger die after applying the results. So let me do that. 2, gain an injury card. The tutorial says that if I gain another injury, ignore it. So that really does nothing. And then it says after that, place your crew member in Sector 4. And then because I placed him in Sector 4, I got to read log 311. All right, and then I guess that ends my dice check. So modify the results. Well, let's see. Wait, let me see. Can I alter the results of it? Hold on. I guess it doesn't matter because I didn't gain any extra injuries. Okay, so I guess I have to put these remaining ones in the spent pool. And now I read log 311. All right, away team exploration. Blah, blah, I already read that. So basically it says, to continue, are all crew members in Sector 4? Yes. Go to log 320. Where is 320? All right. As the last member of the away team appeared in the distance, we felt instant relief. The mission started in disaster, but we are alive. We regrouped, we had some supplies, and we were not far from the designated landing zone. It was time to get to work. First, we needed to make sure that any rescue team sent after us wouldn't suffer the same fate. All right, if you're playing the tutorial, go to log 298. Otherwise, read on. Playing the tutorial, go to log 298. Okay, 298. Jeez. Tutorial. Congratulations. Your first mission is now complete. Perform the following steps. Gain 1 success token. Place point of interest card P105 in Sector 4. This replaces the card outline, which means crew members who enter Sector 4 are no longer directed to log 311. Oh, I completed a mission, but the scenario isn't over. Okay, I thought it was like, is this already done? Okay, so I'm continuing on. I just completed the mission card. So it says remove mission card M1 from the game. So I'm going to tear it in half. Wait, no, never mind. There's this compartment here where you put cards that are removed from the game. There's like in this tray here, there's a special compartment that's basically like once a card is no longer used in your campaign, it just goes in that trash compartment. All right, take the top 5 cards from tutorial deck B, all the cards with the event text, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shuffle them. Shuffling. Okay. And place them face down near the planet board as the event deck. So we'll just put them there. How about that? The next time a crew member completes their turn, read the event section in chapter 11 or chapter 2 of the rulebook. Then go to log 345. Okay. All right. The demolition charges we salvaged from the lander could now come in handy. Thanks to the webway of tunnels under the surface of the sphere, we could reach a spot directly under the cannon and blow up the entire portion of the sphere it rests upon. We know it is safer and faster approach, though it would leave. Though it would leave a gaping hole in the structure and remove a part of its cloaking surface. This giant Dyson sphere would no longer be invisible. Some of us proposed a riskier alternative. We could reach the cannon via the surface, run towards its base, and then find a way to disable it or destroy it with a much smaller charge placed directly on its side. We put it to a vote. If you're playing the tutorial, go to log 554. Otherwise, all players discuss and choose. If you cannot agree, the security section player makes the final decision. All right, go to log 554. Jeez. All right, Sector 3 contains the cannon, which brought down your lander. A point of interest card will be placed here based on your next decision. When exploring alien worlds, your away team will often come up with tough decisions that can shape your campaign. This is one of them. Blowing up the sphere under the alien's cannon is faster and safer, but it will compromise the ability of the sphere to cloak itself, making it easier to find for all other potential travelers. Surgically disabling the cannon will take more effort and be riskier. All players discuss and choose one in case of a tie. The blah blah blah, even if they're not on the away team. Okay, what do you guys think I should do? I have my opinions, but I'm gonna hear yours first. Should I blow up the part of the sphere with a cannon, the one that could potentially damage it and compromise its cloaking, or should I approach the cannon and disable it? It's riskier and slower, but safer. So what do you think? Do I just blow the friggin' thing up, or do I go the safer route, the harder route that is ultimately maybe safer? I'm thinking taking my time and doing the slower one. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm just saying. when I play next. I'm going to do that. All right. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go the safe route. All right. So, oh, Jesus Christ. Go to log 265. Okay. Read more shit. Sorry. 265. All right. If you're playing the tutorial, take the top card from tutorial deck A, mission card M2. Which one was I in 265? Read it aloud and place it face up in the mission card space. So secure the crash site. The Vanguard knows our last coordinates and will surely send a second team to investigate. Unless we find a way to silence the cannon that brought us down, they're in grave danger. Objective, find a way to neutralize the cannon in Sector 3. Completion, when you fulfill the objective, you'll be asked to discard this mission. All right, so I put that mission deck there. Don't they know you're sick? I know, there should just be like there should be a mini logbook that just gives you the meat of everything. So where was I? Okay, if you're using wait. If you're using quick start rules, find mission card M2 and place it face up in the mission card space. All right, that's a little confusing, but anyway, place card P107 in Sector 3 and continue the game. P107. All right, this is kind of cool, right? Taking these cards and putting them on the spaces. It's kind of fun. Okay, it says in Sector 3, right? Continue the game. Bloop. All right. Bulbous cannon. Okay. And then hint, before you attempt to reach the cannon, consider resting. All right, so yeah, that was okay. So continue the game. Okay, so that's all the reading for now, I think. It says to continue the game. So basically, here's the scenario we're in. I got my two guys, Amir and Joppe Ulrich. Might be the Metallica drummer's brother or cousin. I don't know. They were able to regroup in Sector 4, and now they're deciding that they're going to disable the cannon in Sector 3. So as I continue on, we're going to have to move up into there. Probably this guy will need to rest. And then move up into there and figure out what to do. And then, yeah, just continue on this this mission. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think I just got to kind of, once I get all the rules kind of down there and it's a little smoother, it'll go more smoothly. I'm just, still learning all the rules. It's kind of like Gloomhaven. You're constantly checking all the references and rules to make sure I'm not skipping anything. So I think this will be pretty cool. Thanks, everyone. I think that's, a good stopping place. And yeah, thanks you guys for jumping on and watching me read a bunch of nonsense with my cold voice. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone doing anything cool this weekend? I think we're just chilling. I have to pick up beer for Georgie down the street tomorrow. I think that's my only chore that I know of. There's a brewery down the street that has like a bottle shop, I guess, that just reopened, and there's a special limited edition beer that I'm supposed to pick up for him tomorrow for Georgie. So that's part of my day. Other than that, I think it's resting and pampering my wife and child. Work Sunday. Tomorrow, not sure. Well, at least I think you work on the crappy day. I think tomorrow will be warm, and then Sunday I think is going to be. Drink orange juice. Yeah, I probably should. We actually have some orange juice. I bought it for marinating skirt steak, but maybe I'll just drink it instead. working, but oh, you're sewing plushies? That's fun. Cool. Send us pictures of them when they're done. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Have a good weekend, and I'll have to come up with a little jingle for signing out of ISS Vanguard sessions, kind of like my what was the word glooming? I had the Gloomhaven song. I don't remember, but I'll come up with an ISS Vanguard, but I don't have anything yet. Something will come to me. Don't you worry. All right. Everyone have a wonderful night and weekend. I need a catchphrase. Rob out. That's no good. Bye. 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 All right, bye for real now.